What's up, YouTube? How's everyone doing? I hope you're all doing well. Anyway, as you might have noticed, in the last 2, or is it actually 3 days? I'm not entirely sure. Enemy Fighters is dead. The game has been taken down, and we don't know when it's gonna come back or whether it's gonna come back in the first place. So I decided to try out a new game. So I searched a bit of Roblox and I came across this game. The game is called Anime Worlds and it appears to be a pretty new game. As you can see, it states it here as well. The game is very new. Some minor bugs may be present. I personally encountered 2 bugs. They're not that major, so yeah, as I say, it's just some minor bugs, which is completely fine. If you scroll all the way down here, you will see the game was created 2 months ago essentially, so it's pretty new. And its active player base ranges anywhere from 7 to 12k. So let's have a look. Alright, so starting off we have this sort of welcome screen. As soon as you launch the game, it has the game title right here, and there's a gigantic play button in the middle. Disclaimer, I have played the game a little bit. I have about 4 to 5 hours playtime, and I reached the very last zone, but I'm just gonna give you a quick tour around how the game works, etc. So you start off right here. This is the very first world that you start, and this is your dojo. Essentially, this is where you hatch your eggs or orbs or whatever you want to call it, depends on the game that you play. And the main difference of this game, supposed to like Enemy Fighters, for example, let's say, is that like in order to hatch eggs here or orbs, how they're called in this game, it involves a 3-step method instead of like your standard go out, kill stuff, gather money, and then just open. So how the game works is, as you can see, we have 2 types of currency right here. Here on the left side we have it's our money, yen, or whatever you want to call them. And we also have these apples that are our second currency. So in this game, money is only used for upgrades. As you can see here, it's a storage upgrade. It increases the amount of apples that you can carry with you at once. And besides that, the only other reason that you use your money is to unlock new worlds. So I'm just gonna run here. As you can see, there is a portal over there. Portal will lead to the second zone, and this is the only basically reason why you should grind out the money. You can see here we have teleport. This is our very first zone, Mellow Meadows. And you have Titan Town. I'm just gonna teleport here real quick so you can have a look how the second area looks. And then we have Green Archipelagos. So one of the bugs that I've encountered across is oftentimes when you teleport to a new area, the graphics take some time to load. So I would just run here and this would have not been loaded, and I would just like fall underneath. It's one of the bugs that I've encountered. And lastly, the last zone is called Fusion. It's a purplish. Yeah, you see, like this is what I was just talking about. Takes some time for the graphics to load, so you don't really see stuff. And as long as they ain't loaded, you can literally run through them. But that's just a minor bug. It's not that big of a deal. So this is the very first last zone. Anyway, I'm just gonna go back to the starting area to show you kind of how the game works. So as I said, like the game works in 3-step way in order to progress. So you just use money for upgrades, and then so let's say that we kill this minion, right? So it drops this orb, as it's called in this game. Killing minions gives you orbs and XP. So when you come here to your dojo, you gotta press your E button here, and you're gonna add an orb. And then you're gonna use this currency here with the apples to fill up the bar, and then you can touch the orbs to get a hero. And that's kind of how the game works. So you have to repeat these 3 steps, and they're all equally important. So as you can see, you kill, you're gonna get your orb and EXP. XP and levels are important in order to kill higher level mobs and advance to new areas. So, for example, to kill a level 1 mob, you must be at least level 1. We'll go a little bit further here. You will see these mobs here are level 15. You can only kill these once you hit level 15, pretty much. If you try to kill this when you're level 14, you are gonna die. That's kind of how the game works. And let me just showcase you what I mean. I'm just gonna go to the last area and I will go to the boss. He's a little bit higher level than me. So this guy's level 90. I'm just gonna go to the big guy. I think he should be level 100, I think. Yeah, okay, so you can see level 105. So if I attack him, he's gonna start attacking me back, and it says here not high enough level to defeat. And essentially I'm just gonna die after a couple of seconds. See, he just killed me. So you have to be equal or higher level than any mob you encounter if you wanna have any chance with them. And then you have these bushes here, which when you attack, you get apples. So you can hatch eggs later on in your dojo, and that's kind of how the game works. That's the main idea of the game. So when you hatch your fighters, you can open this panel right here, and they work in a little bit different way than the most like simulator games that you've seen. So let me just do it like this real quick. I'm just gonna put 10 orbs here. Just gonna feed them all apples, and I'm gonna hatch them all. Just show you something. Also, another one of the bugs that I've encountered across is, you can see here, mythical legendary are like, they appear as if you have not found them. I found mythicals, but for some reason they keep staying black. They're mortal. However, the other 4 work just fine. And hatching. So, in order to get your fighters stronger here, the main idea is that you have to merge them together. As you can see, up until like a epic rarity of fighters, you need 3 of them at the same time. So you press merge here, and the tier 1 Luffy became a tier 2. So if I merge again, same thing, and then I would need 3 tier 2 fighters in order to fuse them to make a tier 3, etc, etc, etc. And the maximum tier that you can achieve on a certain fighter is tier 5. It's his strongest version of it. And that's literally what there is to it. There's no sell button. You cannot sell them to acquire money. So you can only just press the delete button right here to free up space. One of the initial problems that you will see is that you only have 20 equipment slots, and the only way to increase them is by buying game passes. 20 is a little bit too small, so once you get like over a certain level where you don't need the first fighter, you should just go here and do auto elite, common and rare, even epic, like at the point where I am now. But yeah, and the way you get money is essentially when you hatch your orbs with apples, you get back a certain gold amount for, I'm not sure if it's related to the amount of apples that you have returned back or to the amount of orbs that you have completely filled up. But yeah, that's how you get money. So it is essentially an endless cycle of doing these 3 things. Killing mobs to get orbs, and then gathering apples, hatching fighters for gold, and so on. So it's like an infinite cycle of these 3. You also have this button right here on the right side, which says dojo. So for example, I can just run all the way to the other side of the map. There's a mini boss right here. He's level 4. So let's say I'm just staying here, I'm killing my mini boss, and I'm gathering my apples here. And I just press this button, I go back to dojo, I do this times 10, I hatch everything, I open everything, and then I can just press this and go back to where I was and continue with my farming. And besides that, you can see here, I have 3 fighters, because I don't have any game passes, but you might have noticed that there was a bar that was filling up. So when the bar fills up, press 1, it will cast his ultimate ability, 2 his, 3 his, yada yada yada, depends how many fighters you have. And that's essentially the entire game. Let me just go to this place here, to a mob that has a lot of HP so I can demonstrate it to you. There we go. So as you can see, I will press 1, 2, 3, and they will cast their abilities. Some of them have a faster attack speed, so some bars generate faster. But currently, with the 3 ones that I have, they're all on the same pace. And that's literally all there is to it. It's the shop with all the game passes. The game passes here. 30 inventory slots. Sprint, I guess that gives you movement speed. More inventory slots. 50% fruit earned. If you were to buy game passes on this game, I would say that this is a very good one, as your biggest problem eventually is gonna be having fruits and like your bag is too small. There is also a game pass for an infinite backpack, which I think it's probably the most essential game pass. Oh, a second, let me just fill up my bag so you can see it yourselves. Should be enough. You see, it says your backpack is full, you would teleport back to your dojo, and then you have this infinity backpack right here. Models 50% coins, lucky orbs. I have no idea what this is. Probably gives you luck when you open. Plus 3 fighter slots, damage done, and yeah, here's the backpack. And then you have this, which I think is it's pretty interesting. It's similar to how the boosts work on enemy fighters, but excuse me, that's just the gold coins. But you can actually buy them. So as you can see, like 10 times more fruits earned, 15 minutes, 145 Robux, and 1k for 2 hours. Something that anime fighters does not have. And then you get like mythical luck and legendary luck. Another one that I think is very important if you decide to play the game and if the game like ever becomes very popular is this one. Different dojos. I speculate that these upgrades are also tied to the amount of orbs that you can place. As you can see here, I can place 10 orbs. So I think having a bigger dojo is probably going to have more slots than 10. The main idea would be that you have a huge backpack with infinity backpack, you gather a whole bunch of apples, and then you just come here, you spread like 20 orbs and you hatch them all at the same time. And currently you can buy fighters here. I don't know how much damage they do. Mega Huracan, okay, that's 840 damage. I don't think they're better, but okay, they might actually be better. This is a mythical from the last zone, and it does 300 at level 1. So, assuming that you can fuse these fighters from the shop, this guy appears to be very strong. However, he's pretty expensive, as you can see. And for now, that's literally all there is to the game. There is not much else besides what I just demonstrated to you guys. So that's it about the game. Another bug that is occurring quite often, which is kind of annoying, is I used to encounter it actually a lot in this area. For example, if I come here and I hit, a lot of times my fighters would either not hit and they would just stand like idle, or they would go and hit a nearby bush for whatever the reason. But besides those 3 bugs that I mentioned earlier as well, there is nothing else really, and the game is pretty functional. However, as this is a new game, there's really not much else to do besides what I just demonstrated to you. Anyway guys, that was it for this video. Hope you enjoyed the video and found it helpful in case you decide to play the game. As I mentioned earlier, the game is quite new, so there is currently not much to do. However, the game has definitely room for improvement and development. As you can see here in the background, actually, tomorrow there is a new update coming, so you don't know how this game might shape up. So if you're into simulator games of this type, perhaps you can just invest some time in it and get to the last area. As I said, it took me about 4 to 5 hours to get here, so it's really not that hard to. And perhaps the game becomes even more popular in the near future. But I think, all things considered, for a game that's so fresh and so new, like having this much player base seems to be quite okay. It's not that bad at all, I think. And I guess we'll see in the future if the game becomes even better. Thank you for watching, and until the next one, take care.